Okay, so now we've had a chance to implement Lip Circles for the first time with Year 8 students. I know that a few of us tried it last year, but we've obviously had the opportunity with the Boy Overboard text to delve into the roles more deeply this year. I'm interested in knowing how we've gone.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting effect. When I went into Stu's class, I found that the higher end kids were obviously doing, as usual, really detailed work. The lower end kids were loving pictures, and they were all competing to do the picture work. So that sort of as a teaching tool was one of the questions of how do we make sure they don't just fall back into what they want to do.
I agree with you that it's that old teaching thing. Do you put the higher kids all together, but then you get all the low kids, and when you're not standing with them, what are they going to do?
Okay, so basically we're talking about kids, we're looking at our reading plan stuff, the kids that go well are the kids that can do this in Lip Circles, and the ones who can't do the individual things are the ones who really struggle. So I suppose that then leads to, is it a case of using the Lip Circles to be able to teach these skills? Is that how it works, to be able to get them to move to that point where they're in the middle section?
I think this sounds really horrible, but I think that the literature circles are really good as a tool to use in conjunction with other activities. So for me, going through that process, and I've got a fairly challenging group and very varied abilities. For me, what I got out of it was that we could do Lip Circles for a lesson or for a double on a couple of chapters, but then I found this much better to be using actual questions, actual thinking tasks, actual, writing to learn kind of things as well, just to keep them on track. Because it was really difficult to monitor where each group was up to, and it was almost free reign, really.
Well, that reason is why, towards the end, I pretty much gave up on it, because if you're in, I've got 26 kids and timetable into a small room, couldn't do this, do that, and timetable into a shared classroom, so I couldn't do it in there because the noise level for the other teachers. So it's really dependent on having
The right environment.
And a good timetable. And if you can't make those changes and be that organised that far ahead.
Period 6 on a Friday afternoon. You've got time to do circles.